I'm Tanya Curry, and this is Scratch the Surface. It's entitled Child Protection Week, My Disappointment, and a Soppy Seal. Child Protection Week, that's what we call it here in South Africa. If you want the hashtag, here it is, CPW2025. Looks like a car registration plate, doesn't it? That's how insignificant it is. In the following week, 500 children will die and 120 will be raped. That's an average of a week in South Africa as a kid. This week is slightly different because this week we saw Judge Nathan Erasmus deliver his verdict and sentencing in one foul swoop. He did the lot. He swept the trash into the correctional system for life. He wished he could have given them the death penalty, and so did we.
There's nothing that I can find that is redeeming and deserving of a lesser sentence than the harshest I can impose. On the human trafficking charge, you are sentenced to life imprisonment. On the kidnapping charge, you are sentenced to 10 years imprisonment.
I'm Tanya Curry, and despite the death threats from the fork in my column from last week, I'm here to scratch the surface of the news that you wouldn't read, so I did it for you. I watched every single broadcast of that trial, and the one thing that stands out even more than Kelly Smith's disdain for the child of her womb is Judge Erasmus. His work. It towers over this trial. He is punctual, cordial, controlled, astute, emotionally intelligent, which is something you don't get a lot of these days, compassionate, just, fair, with a dash of appropriate humour when it is allowed. But he also has a powder keg filled of word ammunition if things don't run according to his plan and in order to how he expects it to be done.
Just get straight to the point. Let's just get straight to the point. Make it easy.
Now, it's been over a year since Gator McKenzie broke this story, and at the end of it, they all got life. All three of them.
Mr. Apollos, do you understand that? Mr. Van Rijn, do you understand? Ms. Smith, do you understand? Thank you. You may be seated.
Except the person who bought Jocelyn. That person is still free. That person can do whatever their sick mind lets them. The other person who didn't even enter the courts was Ayanda, the local drug dealer who allegedly fronts a child trafficking ring in the area. But don't think that it's finished, guys. This trial's not finished. Erasmus, our judge, and my wishful president, still wants to deal with accused and then turned state witness Laurentia Lombard. You remember that?
I have considered the issue on the evidence so far on record, and as things currently stand, there will be a hearing, which will be a separate hearing relating to Ms. Lombard and her legal representative, because I want to hear argument on it.
Renz is still to be judged. Justice may take its full course if it was anything according to Judge Erasmus. Kelly Smith, the mammal that birthed Jocelyn, I can't call her a mother. She wants to go to Paulsmore. Why? And why are we even entertaining anything that this woman wants at all? That's my opinion. You want to know what else is happening in CPW 2025? No? Sorry, I'm going to tell you anyway. A general assistant This is the headline. A general assistant is accused of sexually assaulting a grade 2 pupil at La School Dal Mondior in Johannesburg. The implicated staff member remains in custody. That was on News 24. Why couldn't they say that a man who works at school allegedly raped a 7-year-old? What's that? Why do we do that? Perhaps then, if we used headlines like that, we might get another keke. We might have a nation rise up again until eventually this gets resolved. But we use words like sexual assault or my worst, SA, my worst. Do you think the child knows the difference? I hate it when we use euphemisms and soft journalism to hide the ugly truth behind the mask of our headlines. We can do better. Want more? I'm sure you don't. But this is the reality that we don't call a genocide in our country.
Now, police have made another gruesome discovery, Bradan, of a child this Child Protection Week, as it just starts.
The body of a missing 2-year-old, Kutlwano Shalaba, was found, and the mother and the sangoma were arrested. He's been missing since November. That's 7 months ago. What exactly did they find? I can't even think about it. You won't be shocked to hear that the mammal that birthed Kutlwano sold him for the sum of 75,000 rand. We are comfortably numb, aren't we? For 15 months I've been watching Judge Erasmus, wishing he was my president, because you see, when you truly care about your kids, only good things can follow. Jocelyn has been missing for 15 months. Who knows what's happened to that child in the time that we've been watching our television screens and calling for justice? Who knows the horrors she's endured? God knows. We pray for you, Marcipant. We love you, our poster girl of shame. Right now, I can't promise you that we'll do better. But I can tell you that I won't stop fighting your fight. And that I'm not alone. There are others like me. We don't need 1 week of the year to protect a child. We need a nation of mothers that love. Are you out there, Mama? Is anyone out there? How on earth do I move to the next story? You tell me, like how? How do I move to the next story? I don't even want to write or talk about the story because it hurts me as much as Jocelyn. Imagine that. The Patriotic Alliance went to Israel to debunk the myth of Israeli apartheid, the genocide of Palestinians, and to do a water salination deal that Helen Ziller couldn't get right when she introduced Day Zero.
A delegation is here visiting from South Africa, meeting with people from a range of industries, looking at innovation and technology projects, including Israeli desalination plants.
How do you justify turning your back on 70-odd thousand women and children that were murdered? How?
What has it been like? You are here in the middle of a very difficult time for the country during a war. What are your takeaways?
I firstly thank you for having me. I'm very honored and privileged to be on your show. Ever since I landed here the past few days, I am out of words. The operations of the country, how things are being done here in this country, I don't have any words. Everything is going actually the opposite what the other media houses is portraying. I can see Israel is being led with capable leadership. Everything is working well. And yeah, thank you for having me today.
You lost my vote. I hope your Israeli money keeps you fat in this life, unlike the forced famine in Palestine. You apartheid apologists, you genocide denialists, you are my greatest disappointment, the Patriotic Alliance. Oh, and then the dangers of online dating. I mean, it didn't stop this week. 2 women have been killed. Olorato Monjale's body was found hours after going on an online date. She had been dumped outside in the streets of Sandton. The police have no leads. Sorry? How can you have no leads? At least 2 people should be brought in for questioning. The Uber driver and the date. Am I, like, what is wrong with this? What is going on here? And then, the next day, her name's Tifokatso Matobi. Sorry, I lost my place. We pray you'll return safely home, my dear. She went on an online date and disappeared. I'm ready for a weekend, so I'm going to start taking this home. Darren Scott succumbed to cancer and passed on. May you rest in peace. Your radio love certainly was felt by many. And I don't know how to cheer you up, my nation. Like, I could tell you the story about the seal in Gordon's Bay. Okay, it made me laugh too. It took a trip to town, hung around a couple of buckies for kicks, and then took a waddle up and down the drag, caused all sorts of chaos, and brought big smiles when it was released back into our oceans. Can I join him? I'm counting sleeps until I can get into the ocean. Around the world, I'm just going to say this. Did you see it? Did you see Macron's wife shove him in the face while he was in that aircraft? Oh my word, what is that all about? Isn't that against the law in France? like treasonous law, because he's the president, right? Like Marie Antoinette law, you know? Suppose not. That's me, signing off. I'm overloaded with puppy breath, which has aided my recovery, and next week I have a guest. This is going to be fun, so forgive me if I leave you to your own devices for the headlines until the week after. I'm Tonya Curry, and thank you for scratching the surface with me and Acumen.